Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. Okay. Fluctuating and so much problem. So that's why I turned off my video. Okay. And I also request everyone, if anyone have joined with the video, please turn it off because bandwidth will be shared. So yeah. So this session I'll be talking about constraint satisfaction. This is the week where you need to do constraint satisfaction. Am I right, Bhaskar?
Yes, sir. Uh,
Is it the week where you need to do constraint satisfaction, right? Week 6.
yes, sir. This is the current week which is going on.
Okay. 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 So uh, just one announcement. As I said, when I'll start the session, I may not allow you to enter after 7:10. So otherwise, I get disturbed too much, and I have to go back and forth to make you in. So you also tell into the group, Bhaskar, that after 7:10, no one will be allowed to enter.
All right, sir.
Okay. See, I just told, and people are still. I'll have to neglect them. Okay. Is my screen visible, Bhaskar?
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah, so I request everyone to please be more of a like a discussion. You may ask things, you may suggest things, because this is more of a discussion. You already have tutorial, you already have expert talk. So here you can interact and express your view. I'll express your view. Just the difference is that I have little bit more experience than you in that field. So I may guide you in a better way compared to others. Thus, I will request you to, if you have any doubt, anything, you please feel free to unmute yourself and uh, share with others as well. But this is the meaning of this session, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, actually, I received the meeting call today only. Before meeting calls, I didn't receive the messages for the same. So, could I get the recordings?
I did few recordings. I'll put it into the seat and there because I think I did only first 2 weeks and then I got some issue with the internet, some issue with my schedule. I couldn't able to. I'll do the recorded version and put it on into Excel sheet.
So, which group?
Sir.
One Excel sheet must have shared with you people, right? Where all the recordings used to be put in there. Am I right? No.
No, no. For I got the message today only for this meeting, but I didn't got the messages for the previous meetings.
That's clear. No. So at the starting of this course, you must have got an invitation that there are 4 TA for this course, and this is their link. They'll take the session on Friday, some on Saturday, like that. Initial 2 weeks I did, I think, and then after I couldn't able to continue. So I'll do the recordings and put it onto the Excel sheet, which will be shared with you all.
It would be shared on Gmail, right?
Yeah, Bhaskar, don't you have Excel sheet shared with all that where all the TA session will
Yes,
be
sir. Yes, sir.
recorded
The
inside there?
Excel sheet is shared in the course page,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we all
That's
can
what.
click there and check all the recording
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
As
that's
well
what
as,
I'm saying. Inform
yep.
her.
The group things you might be asking, sir, that is an unofficial one where there are 500 members around.
Oh,
So
really?
yes, sir. The AI group, sir. She might be asking about that.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. If she is interested, you can add her.
so I have just sent the group link if anyone wants to join.
Yeah. So is there any TA as well, Bhaskar, in the group?
No, I don't think so. But
Okay.
yeah, active members are there. Means approximately 15 to 20 students. We are regularly discussing stuff and actively
Oh,
pursuing
that's
course.
that's nice. So those 10 members who are very active or doing volunteer kind of thing, you can make a group with me, huh? And there I can or other TA as well because we cannot with the 500 people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is possible. So it's a more of a hierarchy. You can be a group with us, and then you can disseminate those information in the group.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So I will try, sir, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ask those. Actually,
Yeah.
there are two sessions, na, sir. So many have already joined the previous sessions of 6 to 8, and that's why.
Yeah, yeah. Gunjan session, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Gunjan used to do a quite regular thing, so you people surely see his or her his
Mm.
video, right? He's very
Yep.
active. We used to talk regularly what is going on here and there, so that's good. So the thing is that his view and my view might be different, huh? So these are heterogeneous and both are important. That's why the motivation of putting 40 is along with them, and both
Yep.
are correct. There is no doubt about that. But even AI professor, if you see Mawsam is no doubt is a top notch, but there are also other professors who are doing very good in AI things. So this information maybe might be heterogeneous, different way to express, but useful. So if you couldn't attend any of the session, I would request you to just have a video at least. Those 4 sessions you may not like everyone. That's completely okay. But if you would not understand one's concept from one let's say lecture, then you can see the others and see whether it make your doubt clear or not. So this is the way. But you definitely have just taste of all the TAs what they're doing, so that you can accordingly choose what suits you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll go into the session what is about the constant satisfaction and all. So before that, I would go just to whatever it's a very general thing about how constant satisfaction problem become an important aspect in AI, right? So just 1 second, few people are trying to in let me do. Yeah, so the one of the biggest quality I like about or I admire about the Professor Mawsam is that he used to talk very generally about the AI, general AGI or general artificial intelligence used to do, and this is something very interesting. Very few professor used to do those things. So from his single one hypothesis, you could have different kind of research questions, and you can write a paper, investigate in those areas, and like that. So this is something interesting about the professor. So in his consent satisfaction uh, lecture, he told one thing which triggered me to share with you all, that everything in AI is some kind of sort of search problem, isn't so? It's just whatever he said. I totally agree, and I used to say just before him also. It's about all about mapping. What machine understand? It understands symbols, symbols 0 1 something like that. So given the input, given the state, it just maps with the one of the output. If it is a classification task, if it is a generation task, sequence of classification is a generation, right? So in some short, you give me any AI problem, it can be turned as a search problem. Say for example, sentiment classification. So I am very happy. It's again a search problem whether it should be mapped with the sentiment positive, negative, or neutral. What is important word here, which is tell about the sentiment about that sentence. Here, very happy, right? So those it's at the very lower level. If you think at it as any AI problem, it is some sort of you know search problem. It might not be a very simple search problem. It might be we have, and it's like a sequence of search problem, pipeline module, search one thing, then go for another thing, go for another thing, and then you do final solution. So in some short, everything is like a search problem. So what is important for search? As I said, it's a mapping. Given I to O, let's say I is the input and O is the output. It's a mapping from input to output, isn't so? So what is important aspect is here, how much intuitive your eye is, how much informative your eye is, input is, how much representation is very critical and unique, so that it can be mapped with the output. So it's become making search, making state more intuitive, making state more unique, so that it can be uniquely mapped with the output. So this is very interesting about. So to think about any problem, just tell me anyone any problem, and I'll try to formalize it as a search problem. For example, I used to do, as I said, I discuss about myself. Those who don't know about me or haven't are meeting me first time, I still introduce myself. So I'm a pre-final year PhD student at IIT Patna, and my research area more of AI for social good, reinforcement learning, and NLP. So what current project I'm doing, I'm making a kind of small mini robot which will act as a virtual doctor, which will patient will go and say their problem. Hey, I'm suffering from cold and fever. It will diagnose you. It will ask you set of symptoms, see your facial expression, see your symptoms and sign, and finally say, okay, based on the investigation it conducted, you are most likely to have disease D, right? And finally says, okay, go to the room number 432. uh, the patient will raise the D423, doctor will be there, and before doctor would invest in a single minute, he will have the detail about the patient. That patient had initially come with the problem of headache, and while investigation, the bot understood that it has also a problem of cold, cough, leg pain, eye redness, so and so forth, and finally, most likely disease is, let's say, Ethereum multiform, something like that. So in some sort of it's still broken as a search problem. Patient comes and said, "Hey, I have a headache." Fine. So now, what is the intelligence here? Which symptom should be asked? It should be headache, which should be leg pain. Obviously, if it is a headache, it should be, let's say, cold should be asked, something relevant to that. So given all symptoms, which should be triggered? Headache should be mapped with the leg pain, or headache should be mapped with body pain. Which one should be done? So this is one kind of search problem. Patient said, it asked, do you have, let's say, body pain? Patient said, yes, I have body pain, right? So this is only thing which I don't like, is that people used to come in between, and it disturbed me a lot. I don't know what to do with that once I shifted to the team as well, because it disturbed me in between and flow get lost. Do what others TA used to do, Bhaskar, the Google Meet or something else?
Google Meets,
They
but
try to in between or just leave it.
sometimes means like 15 or 20 minutes ahead during talking they might let all in at once. Those might left
Hmm.
kind of stuff.
Okay, okay, got it. So you clearly inform into the group that T's get too much disturbed with the flow while people try to enter at 7:35, 30 or something like that. So before 7:15, who will be in, other will not be allowed to. Like that, you put a instruction in
All
the
right,
group.
I will.
Yeah. So I was talking about every AI problem is some sort of searching problem. Even my diagnosis problem is like a searching problem. So person said cold, and then asking was cough, is again an intelligence. It's a mapping again. Given all symptoms, it should ask cough. It's kind of search which symptom should be selected to be investigated. Finally, when finds, okay, you have person have the symptom cold, cough, fever, and leg pain, what would be the disease? Again, it's a mapping, isn't so? Given the set of symptoms, which disease should be mapped? It's again such problem. So in every AI problem, it can be broken into a series of such problem. That's what the professor is saying, and I totally agree with him that every AI problem could be analogous to a search problem. So this is the foundation why we should consider about the constraint satisfaction problem. This is the foundation, right? Now, second term, he told about the AI representation. Very crucial thing. As I said, if it is a search problem, everything is like a mapping, isn't so? Mapping from input to output. So as I said, input to output mapping would be very easy if input would be very much intuitive. It would be very much unique. It would be more informative. It like that. So the big one of the key problem in AI is AI representation, problem formulation. It's a big problem, how it should be done in an effective way so that it can be easily or effectively mapped with the output, because internally everything is like y equals to fx, mapping x to y. X is input and y is output. So how much x is intuitive, how much x is informative matters effectiveness of y going to fx, isn't so? So he is saying that information process effectiveness hugely depends on its representation. How you represent your information state is very crucial to that problem, because as a human, whether I should go today outside with umbrella or not, it depends on the environment, right? So if I would be intelligent, I'll see the temperature, what is the humidity, right? And based on that, if it seems like it will rain, I'll take the umbrella. Obviously there is another way. If it is, sunny day, then also people used to take umbrella, but let's don't consider that. I am very much I don't want to carry a lot of things, so I'll take the umbrella only if it rains, right? So uh, what I'll do, I'll sense the environment with how is the environment, and based on that, I'll decide whether should I go with umbrella or not, right? So uh, if I'm, let's say, a blind person, I'll not able to sense what is outside happening. So my information become minimal. Whatever others say, I'll do that, right? So it's all about getting the state and then acting upon it. What should I do given the state? Is it like that? So he's saying that AI representation is a great mindset to have. So whenever you make an AI model, think it as a state to action mapping, state to output mapping. So make your state so much informative so that model can understand. Even if it is a neural network or the deep neural network models, it's about mapping again. If I is used to be passed with a set of non-linear layers, and finally it is used to be mapped with the set of outputs, right? So non-linearity is the key of neural network, but still how you represent your input, it matters the most. Hmm. So that's why he's saying AI is the representation that great mindset to have. That's very 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 depth analogy he used to give, and people should take it very seriously. What he's saying about that AI represent a great mindset to have. Now I'm coming to the constraint satisfaction problem, what is all about, and then finally I'll discuss few problems. Once I'll discuss few key thing about the CSP, constraint satisfaction problem. So CSP, when I heard first time, I was triggered with the CSB. So there is something called in our campus CSB Chai Sutta Bar. So it is more of a like P and B. I got confused with that. So, as I was saying, it's very information how you represent your input, right? In between, you have any question about these two concepts? These are very fundamental to AI. If any have any remark, question, or suggestion, please feel free to put it there. Someone has messaged. Oh, join the group.
So this tried to watch the lectures. Initially, it was easy, means 2 to 3 lectures of initially,
Mhm.
but then it suddenly got from backtracking and all a lot hard, and even assignment of this week are a
Mhm.
lot hard. So I will request you to little bit go into a little bit go into the more clear version so that we can understand, because lecture was totally not clear in single go. That in previous week what used to happen is that after watching lecture I was able to solve assignment, at least understood all the content on the slides of the lecture, but it was not same with this week.
Yeah,
So
it's more of a
that's
mathematics. How is the background? It's like a representation, whatever he talked about the lecture, but the final processing that information is at your task. So it's not completely. I totally agree with you that it's not lecture dependent. You need to think about that. It's just a representation he did in the lecture, and then after you need to work upon it to get solution. It's not only mapping from I to O. So I become transform to I dash, and then it will map to something like that.
mhm.
I will go about in that as well.
Let's
So these are very fundamental. You must have known. I don't know how many of you have watched the video.
yes sir. This slide was totally understandable and easy to grasp, the state variable
Okay.
and domains.
Sure, sure. So state is how you represent your problem, what are the variables you have, and goal test is the final your function that you have to do, and solution is what you will assign to those variables to make that solution work. Make that goal test to pass this. So this is how constraint satisfaction is expressed. It's a more of a three variable tuple. So it's like S for state, G for goal, and S for solution. So solution should be solution should be consistent with the goal state and the domain information. Whatever the constraints function has given, it needs to be satisfied one thing, and it should come from the domain whatever is given in a state information. So you can treat it as like goal test equals to, no, solution equals to following goal state given state, goal test given state. So let me write something like that. I should take a notepad if possible. So it's more of a like solution is equals to, you need to satisfy satisfy goal test given domain information. So whatever the domain it has given, you need to follow that, and you need to make it satisfied. So this is all about constant satisfaction in depth. If you see, this is what you have to do. So finally, you have to find S set of, let's say, variable which comes from domain D, and it must satisfy GT. So overall, two things needs to be satisfied: domain and GT. So this is how AI models work. This is how an AI model works. So you give the data to model, it learns, and then finally you give a query, and inference time it predicts. So there are different kinds of models: search problems, MDP, games, factor graphs, Bayesians, and what type of model to use, it depends on the problem itself. Whether it should be done with the MDP, whether it should be done from Bayesian network, it depends on what is the problem, how effectively it can be expressed, whether it's a state, whether it's a network, or whether it's a set of variables, something like that. So it depends on that. Some modeling paradigm, if you see, there are three kind of modeling paradigms. There are state-based models, which is more of a MDP formulation and doing, root finding state. Uh, and any of you know MDP or something like that, Markov decision process? No, it seems like you haven't taught in that. So the second one is a variable-based model, which comes where a few examples are CSP, constant satisfaction, Bayesian networks, and also scheduling is one of application of this variable-based thing. Tracking, medical diagnosis, again, the variable-based models. Think in terms of like variables and factors. Logic-based models. So it is where proposition logic comes, the first order logic comes. So in next lecture, we'll be learning about logic-based things, proposition logic, and those things are there. So in terms of application, verification used to be done, validation used to be done, reasoning used to be done on based on those things. So these are three different kinds of modeling paradigms: state-based, variable-based, and logic-based. So nowadays, most of the things has been done using state-based models, but there are other two paradigms are variable-based and logic-based as well. So in variable-based, you will be learning about the CSP and Bayesian network, where more of a mathematics needs to be done. But in state-based, you just give the input, and finally, let's say neural network model will learn itself how to do those things. But variable-based, finally, a function will be given, and you need to find out a solution that will work for that model, that will work for that function. Logic-based model is more of like a proposition logic, first order logic, and those things. So tautology, all those things comes under there. You must have about like or and gate and all those things comes under this logic things. So there are two goals of finally logic language. One is the representation, and the second is the reason. So if you combine these two, representation and reason, this is all AI. So finally, you represent your problem and reason about that representation to find out the output. This is all about the, you know, AI. So there are three stages: input, processing, and output. Very simple. So input is your representation, reason is your processing, and output is whatever you know. Put input over the processing, whatever you'll get, it's output. So in order to make a model more effective, you need to represent the data in more effective way. You need to do more fine-grained and intuitive reasoning over it so that it can lead to more effective output. So if I there was one project in, I think, Stanford or CMS somewhere. So the group is working on making a smart personal assistant. So what it will do, it's a more of a like a humanoid. So it's like a companion. You say someone, it's like a more of a smart friend. If you have problem, just tell him or her, and she'll give you the solution what to do in the given situation. Tell the information, tell the situation, and ask the question, what should you do? And finally, it will process over the information and say what to do now. So needs to do heterogeneous information. Do you know what is the heterogeneous information? Anyone of you know what is heterogeneous information? Yeah, Aditya, please go ahead.
So when the information is of various types, when the varieties of many uh, uh, different type of data. However, in the homogeneous, there is only a similar type of data. So, for an example, if we are dealing with only the data type of one data type, so it might be called as heterogeneous, homogeneous data. However, when there is a different type of data, string data, float data, or dictionary type of data, so it might be. Is it right, sir?
Yeah, it's some sort of right. So heterogeneous data means they are coming from different space, right? Something like that. So Aditya, you are from which which, what is your background? Are you student?
Yes, sir. I
From
am.
where and which department?
Yes, sir. I am CDEC student.
CDAC.
Yes, sir.
You are employed at CDAC.
No, sir. I am not employed. I am a student.
CDAC also have organization to teach or what? Why you're saying student? CDAC is CDAC now only. What's the college name?
Sir, Pune CDEC X.
So what course are you doing here?
Yeah.
AI.
I just got passed out from my PG diploma. A week ago, I just got my result.
Oh, that's nice. That's great. So who is the director there?
Sorry, who is
Who
the
is the?
director?
Huh?
So, I
You
don't
don't.
know.
Okay, okay.
No, sir, I don't have any idea. But
So first time I'm hearing that CDAC is also organizing courses, and also we are in collaboration with the CDAC. So we used to do collaborative project there. So that's what I was thinking about.
okay, sir. Actually, nowadays we are on our project work, and my project is on the NER.
Oh, very nice. So name entity
Yeah,
recognition. This is a
yeah,
very
project.
challenging problem.
Yeah,
So
so we are working on it, and the name my deputy joint director is Mr. Krishna Ranjan Chatterjee.
He's Bengali.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so this very classical problem of NLP, natural language processing, is NER. It's still a huge way to go there. So is it domain specific, language specific, or something like that?
Yes, sir. We
Because
are building our project on the social media platform for Indic languages.
oh, that's nice. So Indic languages is go ahead, way to go ahead, because we don't have that much tag data, I believe. So that's why
Yes,
it's
in fact,
uh,
we have worked on the LSTM and GRU right now.
mhm.
However, when we found that the F1 score and the precision and accuracy is not up to the level for the BERT model. So that's
So
why,
why don't you use transfer learning, something like that? So given the Indic language,
which one, sir?
so transfer learning or something like that. So don't use only LSTM GRU. These are not going to work now. Transformer have come, so these are very less effective compared to the those things. So for NER, I was thinking if you have just convert it into just one idea I was thinking. I told someone as well. So it's more of a given S. You have to find out its tags, right? So it's
Hmm.
more of a slot tagging pass. I am very
Hmm.
happy, and for each word you need to assign something. Right? So
Okay.
I was thinking you have let's say Hindi text, and
Yeah. Yeah.
model don't know much about the Hindi. It's a pre-trained model. So what you
Yeah.
could do, you transfer into the English. You already have its NER with the 95 or 98% accuracy. For English language, it's quite stagnant. It's more than 95, I believe, for general domain, right? So you take that information, given S is your input, what was the S dash English form, and what was its tag T dash. So now your input become S dash, and T dash. Now you see whether it is able to tag S correctly or not, something like that.
Okay, sir. If I
Did
can get,
don't you get it?
I'm having my IPYNV, so it
Mm-hmm.
might be so if I can share you.
Yeah, definitely. I would. I'll have, if I get some time, I'll see about that. But idea was very simple. That why not to leverage information? Now we are not in the age of doing information from processing from scratch. There are already LLM, large language models, and which have the good understanding. Why not to leverage that information from there onward itself?
The
So if I'm saying मैं आम खाता हूँ and you have to do any tagging, you have the only information मैं आम खाता हूँ. Now I'm saying don't take this one. You along with that you also use the transform learning. Transform is that you translate it into the English. I go and what are the NER for that thing. So it was whatever was ABC tag I have given. Now it is E is the English translated sentence, and its NER become E of NER. So now your input become मैं हम खाता हूँ E comma E of NER, and then you try to map it, because finally translation it will model will understand with the, let's say, 95% accuracy. Then it can easily map it will have more data about that, like that.
as of now, so
hmm.
as of now, we what we did, as we you said that about the tagging. So we
Hmm.
went for that IOB tagging, BOI tagging, as you were just referring right now.
Yeah, so B is for beginning, I for intermediate, and O for
Yeah.
omit. So
Yeah.
others also I used to suggest that finally doing AI course is not your goal, right? Finally solving the problem is your goal. So this is one problem, classical problem of NLP. Think it, or others also think. I mean, hear it properly. Think what is the problem, because not the goal of the course is not to do get 80%, 90%. Finally, you need to solve the problem, right? So, along with the course theoretical idea, you should also think about some AI project, whatever he's saying. So, NER tagging is like I is noun, pronoun, verb, or whatever it is, like that. For each word, one tag should be given, like that. So, this is NER problem, what he's talking about. And it's a very classical problem of AI. It has been used to be solved from 1980s or something like that. Yeah, Aditya, please go ahead. What you were saying, what you have done.
So we just built our model, which we didn't build our model. Actually, it was pre-trained model, LSTM and GRU. Everybody knows, whoever is from the background from AI. So it is very usual for the in NLP.
Okay,
Almost,
okay, thank you.
yeah. So
So I was talking about the heterogeneous data. So for example, if I give you the video, so there are three kind of models. One is the audio, one is the image, and the other one is the text, right? Caption for that. So these are three different kind of data coming from different space. A text data is your sequence of characters and words, whereas the image is a sequence of vision, sequence of pixels, right? So these are two different kind of data. So this can be treated as a heterogeneous information. So in order to make an effective model, the idea is that you make the heterogeneous information align so that it can map easily which image should be mapped with the which text to understand the video more appropriately. If you now watch a movie, you used to, if you don't know, let's say Spanish, you are watching a Spanish movie, so you used to also see caption for those things, right? So if those images would not be mapped with correctly with the caption, you will get puzzled, right? So that's why he's saying how to process heterogeneous information more effectively is the key to finally make a personalization kind of thing. Reason deeply about that information. So please understand what I'm saying is that finally AI is more of doing I to O, input to output, right? So what is happening? Tell the information I is going to model M of I, and finally O is coming out of it, right? So you make your I processing I dash, and finally it is mapping with the O. So reason more deeply about that information. Reason more, make your I to I dash so that it becomes more intuitive, so that it can easily map with the you know Oh, make it into low higher dimension so that it can uniquely be represent for that those output. Uh, I used to talk more often in terms of symbols and math. So if you get confused somewhere, please feel free to interrupt. So you're now coming about the model checking. What finally CSP, when you do the solution for those things. Checking satisfiability problem in professional logic is more, very classical problem of CLS. So propositional logic is focused on more of a variable, whereas the formula is like a constraint and model is a assignment. So these are the three tasks: variable, find out the variable value from the domain so that it can satisfy that constraint. So a task of the model is to do assignment. You will have the variables, you will have the constraints. So constraint is not only the function, constraint also is the domain from where the variable comes from. And then finally you do the assignment and make the model. So these are now coming to few problems, how used to be the CSP, how final solution used to be get it from input to output. So very classical problem is the graph coloring thing. Consider n nodes in a graph. There are n nodes, and finally you need to assign some color. And color is RGB, red, green, and black. The constraint is that there is an edge between I and J, Bi, and they must have different color. So those nodes which are connected directly should have the different color. So this is the constraint. The domain is RGB, and your variables are b1 to bn. If there is a graph of n nodes, how will you do the assignment? So as a human, how will you proceed? Anyone can unmute yourself and tell the approach. Because finally, what you expect from a model, whatever human we are as a thinking, it should able to grasp those things. The most complicated thing on this earth is the human brain. If it can able to mimic some similar to that, it will able to solve the solution. So I mean, get to the solution. So can anyone say how you go about this? One is when you make solution for a problem, first step is to just make a naive solution, and then you optimize over the time. So whenever you solve a problem, go like that. You don't go and say, I'll find out an optimal solution in one go. First, find out a solution and then make, or however you reach to the solution, that process more, make it more optimal, right? So yeah, please, anyone can unmute yourself and say how you go about that. This is the problem.
We can make the set of all the values which can be
What's
assigned
your
to all
name and where do you
Bhaskar.
work?
Yes, Bhaskar I am.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Bhaskar.
so since V5 looks the one with most constraint, means being constraint with most number of nodes or most number of, that's why we can assign any value of RGB to V5, and then we can go
Why
in.
you will go with V5? Why not with the V?
Yes, I can go with the anyone, but since V5 looks the one with maximum number of constraint attached, so it will be further easy to proceed.
Correct, correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll assign some color V5. You'll say
yeah.
with
Then all the set space, like the V1 initial set space will be RGB, but once I will, let's say, the assign R to the V5, then R will be removed from the set domain of the V1. Similarly, we will go about all of them and make a tree-like structure, and finally we will have a.
yeah, I put it right here. Now what to do next?
So now the red can't be placed in the V1, V2, V3, V6. So all the other colors like G and B can be placed to V1, V2, V3, and
Can
V6.
I put right here? Because it
Yes,
is not alternative.
yeah.
So
We can place red at the V4. That's
okay,
totally
what
plausible.
next?
Now since V6 has two options, G and B. So let's say that place green at V6.
Hmm.
Then we will have, just a second. Mhm. Then B2 and B3 will be blue and B1 will be green.
V1 can be green.
B1 will be green, yeah, and B2 will be blue. Yeah,
This one will be blue.
yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So
Now it.
finally, it is satisfying the constraint that the constraint was if there is an ace between I and J, Bi must be different from Bj. So no two connected nodes should have the same color, and it is satisfying, right? So this is how Bhaskar has done solved this problem. But if I ask him to express into set of algorithm, it's a bit difficult to do so. So there are different approaches, forward, backward, and all those things. So, but if sorry, for I'm saying, Bhaskar, if I say how you did it, if I ask you for algorithm, how do you do?
So I will have a set of initially all the B1 and B2 can these are variables, all right, sir. So they will have domains as RGB. So V1 domain has RGB, V2 domain has RGB. Each variable has various domains. Now once I will assign any value like R to the center one V4, the in the next leaf or in the next step the domains will decrease for all the adjacent nodes of V5, which was the middle one. So we can.
Yeah. So P1 you assign it to red, then you are saying, let's say this was the P1. Huh?
That
So
was V5
whatever
I
the
think.
edge,
You can. Yeah.
yeah, it was B5. So for B5 you assigned red. Now for all other nodes who are adjacent to B1, B5 will have the domain only G and B, not red, right? That's what I think.
Yes, sir. Yes. So we all the adjacent nodes, all the four nodes except V4 will have like V1, V2, V3, and V6. Everyone will have all G and B as their domain space. Now R won't be there.
True. So other than B5, its domain become reduced. Domain becomes only G and B.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now what next?
So now we can assign another, like for example, the V6. The last one was also not assigned to any, so it can also be assigned the red. I think
So
V6
why
or
why
V4
we
was
choose
there.
B6? Why we choose B5 or something like that. What was that? B4. We
V4.
chose B4, I
we
guess.
don't we don't need to choose V4. We can another times take the another one which has maximum constraint. Let's say that the leftmost one and the middle one between the right mid center and the right has yes sir, the green one, the right green one has maximum number of constraints.
Mhm.
So we can then assign the second green one, means the right green one. I don't remember
Correct,
the
correct, correct.
middle one. What is the number v or whatever, I don't remember exactly, but we will assign then. So adjacent, then the domain of others will similarly change, that what can be assigned similarly. It will become evident that blue can be assigned to the top and the bottom one, and red, the last one, the rightmost leaf can have any value from blue and red. So it will have multiple solutions, and this is not a single solution problem.
True, 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 true. So I totally agree with you. So yeah, very good. Aditya, do you have anything to add on?
No, sir.
You raised your hand.
No,
It was there, I guess.
it might
Okay,
be earlier. I just raised.
okay. So whatever he's saying is totally correct. So how he did is can be expressed as an algorithm. So what do you think, Bhaskar? It's a backward chaining or forward chaining? Fine, do whatever you think.
So in this case, it is forward, so we are directly going. Backtracking is not. We haven't done backtracking anywhere now. We are directly starting from the
Because there
start.
was no such conflict. If there would
Mhm.
have some conflict, then you have done backtracking. You must
Yes,
have
sir.
found there, right? So
Definitely, sir.
let's say go to that situation as well. Huh? So here we assign blue. If number of edges would increase, there would be conflict, but here it was very small problem, so we didn't get any conflict. If there would be any conflict, that you have only remaining is the, let's say, blue color. Here you have to assign blue only, and that's not satisfying the constraint, right? It is saying there should not be some similar color in adjacent one. What you have done, you just have went to the previous state and see, just remove whatever you have done earlier. This is what the backtracking is. This is how you do. So whatever you can, you have hypothesized, okay, whatever I have done earlier, it was not correct, so let's redo, erase that and see whatever was in the previous state. What I'll do something differently, whatever I have done, in the current state, whatever I have done now. Isn't so? So this is how the backtracking thing works. Do anyone have other, solution or way to go ahead for this problem? Aditya, how you have done?
No, so I didn't get the idea. So I was listening on Bhaskar.
You didn't get how he has done?
I just get the what Bhaskar said right now. So that's why I was just listening.
Yeah, I'm saying, let's say in some situation, whatever we have done assignment, there would have some conflict, right?
Okay.
You have to assign, let's say, this here some color, and whatever color you have in hand, it is conflicting. Finally, it is not making the solution. So I'm asking what you have done there.
So are you asking me, sir?
No, Aditya. So there comes backtracking concept. So you go to the previous state, whatever you have done, it was not making solution to work, and erase it. It's more of a uh, doing, what, say, analogy could I give? I was thinking. Yeah, so you have n number of holes. You have, let's say, m number of seeds, and you have to put seeds there, and in each holes there are pigeons. So you need to put seeds so that they can eat, and you don't know in each hole how many pigeons are there, and you need to obviously assign seeds based on the pigeons. If there are three pigeons, you should put three seeds there. So initially you put one, and then At some stage, you saw there was, more than two pigeons and you don't have that much seeds. What you have done, you have went back and erase your state where you have put more seeds. You said no, there in future there is coming one hole where more than one pigeons are there and I need to have seeds, right? So this is what the backtracking is. You are going to the previous state, you are erasing things and then making a solution work. So this was here we didn't observe any backtracking situation, but in few next slides I'll show you how the backtracking things also. Here it's more of a whatever it has become work in the forward chaining. Whatever we are going assign and finally work. So this is what the forward chaining. So this is how one solution has done. Oh, it has done similar to whatever done? No. Is there any synergy if you see? Can anyone observe it? Whatever solution we found and whatever solution it is giving here. Bhaskar,
Yes, sir.
are you able to find any synergy between these two solutions?
So just green and blue are reversed. Means our green is horizontally and uh, there are means opposite vertices are of same color. That we can
Correct, correct,
say that
correct.
opposite.
This is what observation is here. So also another different thing is here we have given red and red. They have given different color. Even here green and red. If you observe,
Definitely so. Hmm.
because they haven't even they couldn't have put here red or even the blue because it is contradicting. So whatever solution you find, I just believe you will have this kind of situation that the two vertices orthogonal means opposite to each other will have the different color in order to make it satisfy, right?
Yes, sir.
This is one another example is a map coloring. Have you come across with this problem? It's
In the
similar to
lecture
what?
itself.
Oh, is it so?
Yes, sir. This the same question is in lecture.
Oh, so I took it from some other guy's slide. I couldn't find, Professor Mawson's slide. So it was there. And he have discussed about that?
Yeah, he had discussed about same that, um, and even I think this is the same graph which is in book also. That's why from there it might be coming to all the
Yeah,
slides.
yeah, yeah. So these are different regions of, map. And finally you have to assign the colors. If you go in depth and see, it's the same as a graph node coloring problem. The way it has been defined is become different only. So they are adjacent to each other and there was A's in the previous problem. This is the difference in some sense. If you see, it's the same as whatever we have done here. So what color has to be assigned? These are the variables. WA means Western Australia, NT is your Northern Territory, and like that. Domains are whatever the color could be possible, red, green, and blue. Correct. What constraints do you have? Adjacent regions must have the different colors. This is the region, means it's the same as that, whatever we have seen. Two nodes connected with an ace should have the different color. So it is saying WA couldn't have the color same as NT, obviously because they are adjacent to each other. So finally, one solution they have give this is like that. So red green, red blue. What is this? Oh, this they're giving two possible solution for W and NT could have the different color, whether it's a red blue, green blue, and blue red and blue green. So if you'll have the n number of, that's a variable, and m number of domains, then how many possible pairs would be there? Can anyone say?
Again, question, sir.
N number of nodes
Mm-hmm.
and m number of domains.
Mm. n to
So
the
for
power
this,
n, then it will be for with constraint there will be different, but if without constraint we have to explore, then it will be n to the power n, because each node will have n possibilities.
is it so? No. Did you get the problem here? If you see,
So,
bolo.
so it might be like in factorial if these are the seven states.
Yeah, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 factorial. So we can arrange in the 7 factorial. But
Hmm.
if there is a combination of three colors,
Hmm.
so 7C3.
Yeah, it will come under some combination only. So my question, you people didn't get it properly, I guess. So let me explain you again. So it's not a big problem. It's not I'm saying about the all seven states. I'm saying you just started. For example, WL, NT is there. For this given two nodes, W and NT, what color combination could have given? For this, it has given red, green, red, blue, and all those things. So I'm asking when you have started, let's say I want to make it generalized. N number of variables are there, hmm, and m number of domains are there. So how you are getting here? If you see one, two, three, four, five, six possible combination were there, right? So I'm saying how you got six, or what is the math behind it?
So we are just considering w and nt, so 2 to the power 3 is would be 8. Just a second. Yeah, yeah.
WNNT is not considered. Only if you see it's a manipulation of number of domains. N is being manipulated. Is so. So 3 factorial is 6. Here it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, definitely, Sam. Because we can't have a red, red and green, green. So that's why it
Mm-hmm.
won't be 2 to the power 3.
Yep,
Those
yep,
two are excluded.
yep, yep. So finally, this is one unique thing I used to tell about the people. I don't know. It's not related with the current content, but I used to say the difference between people at IIT or some other colleges about how they reason about the things. Their reasoning capability is the only distinguishable I have found. So, given the problem, you need to think about that. You need to find out an empirical solution for that. So, uh, this is how find out a solution to work. So, this is one problem. It's a graph coloring problem. Again, similar to whatever say. Variables is the regions, domains are the colors, and consider the adjacent regions must have the different colors. This is the solution for the given problem. How will you finally complete it? W equal to rate and all. So it is a difficult problem. Can anyone solve it? Uh, mm, Other than Aditya and Bhaskar, can anyone other unmute yourself and try to solve this problem? What was the girl name who started? Who asked me that she couldn't able to attend the lecture? Are you there? Can you unmute yourself and start working out with this? Hello, sir. Can you give my reply? What is asking? Hello, sir. Just today my semester exam completed. So how to start my preparation for exam? Nityanand. Hi, Nityanand. Are you there? Nityanand. No, he is not there. Let him do. I can pick other. Let's see.
So Nityanand is still in the meet.
But he's not responding. He would just want to hear, don't want to say. So his question was how semester exam over. How to? Sir, currently I am not available for voice. Hello, I'm sorry I got disconnected. So I'm sharing my screen again. So this is one problem with the Bhaskar with the IT Patna internet these days. From January itself, we are facing too much problem with this, and they still couldn't able to fix. I don't know why. Is my screen visible, Bhaskar?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So recording is also happening. Yeah, seems like. Okay, so Nityan and you couldn't able to make you audible. I understood. So you are asking your exam finished today and how you do tackle with this course, right? So it's today is whatever week you have, you need to cover and you need to also go back and see whatever. So week 6 is there. So what my suggestion would be like focus on the current now, start with the week 6 itself. I don't think there is so much background constraint is there. You start with the week 6 and you have, let's say, two session for each day for NPTEL. So in one session you do current work and another session you do previous work. So week 6 another session, week 1, week 7 week 2 or week 3, something like that, and there you can go about that, right? So this is how it, and you can also interact with the other guys if you get any doubt question. Even you can contact me, my LinkedIn I shared with you all, so there you can contact me and reach out there. So I was asking someone to work out with me for that problem, and let me take someone. Satyakant, are you there? Shruti, are you there? I don't know. You people don't interact. Why? So, so otherwise, I don't think it's. What is S name? He used to talk in earlier meetings. So I think he'll be able to talk with us now. S name, are you there? No mic. Nitin. Okay, so thank you for solving my doubt. No mic. In IIT Patna, there is open mic session is happening. If you want to come, you people can join. Research Scholar Day is happening tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I was quite busy in those things. So open mic session is also there. Is there anyone from Patna? I would love to meet in campus if someone can come. I'll have the discussion. Let it be. So I don't think Abhishek, are you there? Can you do you have a link for that, sir? For Research Scholar Day, it will be completely offline. If there will be any online session, I will share with the Bhaskar, and Bhaskar can share in group. But if you are in Patna and you want to come, I'll make you in campus. There is no one. Abhishek, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Estim, I can hear you.
Okay, finally. Mic's working now. Okay.
What you have done to work it?
Yeah, I actually don't have a mic, real mic, so I'm actually using my mobile phone
Okay, okay.
as a mic with a mic software.
Okay,
So
okay. It's
like,
completely audible now. So let's start solving this problem. How will you go about that problem? Where should I put the color and which color?
I think as professor explained, like we should
Hmm.
first color the variable which is has the most possible amount of constraints.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which in case this is South Australia because it has too many neighbors and number of neighbor increases the number of constraints.
Correct. So let's say for South Asia, I am putting some color. It's a red. Fine. What next?
Okay, so then number of constraints. Western
If
Australia,
if if this has to be found with the logical in programming, how we would have done? Here you can
I
see
would
finally.
check all the variables and the number of constraints there. For example, Western Australia number of constraints are that it can't be red and it can't be whatever color the Northern Territory is. For Northern Territory, the constraint is that it can't be red, it can't be what the color Western Australia will be, and what can't be color what Queensland it will be. I will do the same for all the variables, and I find that the Northern Territory has the most number of constraints, so I will color that next.
Okay. What color should I put there?
It doesn't matter anything other than red works because the each color is like not relevant in this particular question at least.
Okay. Next.
So now Western Australia has two constraints. Queensland has three constraints. Green, it can't be green, it can't be red, it can't be whatever color the New South Wales will be. Victoria has two constraints. It can't be red, it can't be whatever color the New South Wales will be. So the Queensland has the maximum number of constraints. So we'll color that
Hmm.
next.
Oh,
And the only
okay.
color left is blue. So
Done.
now Western Australia has only choice left. Western Australia only color left is blue. So that's a no-brainer.
Next.
The South Wales only has one color left, that is green. So that's again a no-brainer. I don't have to think to color it green.
Where Richard put North, New South.
New South, like no, New South has only one color left, right? Both red and blue are occupied by the neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So only
They are
one.
blue.
So no need to think about that either. And the Victoria has also only one color left now. So no need to
Blue.
think about that. And Tasmania, it doesn't even matter. It has no constraints.
Oh, okay. That's great. So I'm asking, very interesting problem. How many solution of this problem could have?
I think a particular upper bound I will give you. It will be the number of variable times the number of colors. That will be the upper bound. I can't.
Given the constraint, you can say obviously, right?
Like the
Given.
upper bound will be of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the power 3.
Okay.
But that is not taking account the fact that there are constraints.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm saying for this problem, if I'll ask you number of how much solution would you have? Let's say you have three. Here, how many vectors nodes are there? Three, six, and seven, right?
I think, sir, there are only uh, three plus one plus times. Okay, if you ignore Tasmania, let's for the sense, we have only
Tasmania is
three.
making it's seven times. No, no,
Yeah, the
three
seven
times
times whatever the
into
answer we get by ignoring Tasmania. So
three
so
times.
now,
No, S means
yeah.
three times. Tasmania can have raised
Okay,
to
yeah, three
to
times. Sorry,
three.
three times. Whatever the value we get
Hmm.
from ignoring Tasmania.
Hmm.
So for the middle section, the Queens, what's that? I forgot the names. Sir, can you like show the names? Yeah, so
South.
for South Australia, we have three options.
Hmm.
And for Northern Territory, we have two options. So three times two, six. And other than that, we don't have actually any options. The Queensland value is decided, the eastern area is decided, the South Australia is decided already. So it will 3 times 2 times 3 again.
I think so. So this many solution will have.
Yes, sir.
Have you considered Tasmania and multiply three? This three is it for that or something else?
Yes, sir. The Tasmania is that 3 is for Tasmania. First 3 is
Okay.
for South Australia, possible values of South Australia. The
Okay.
second 2 is for the possible values of Northern Territories. And once we assign these two, the rest of them get filled themselves. So no need to look further. And Tasmania, 3 for Tasmania.
Oh, is it so? If I change the blue here and
This is the same, like the blue and blue doesn't even matter.
this one is also one solution. Is it
How
so?
can that be solution? It's the same
Oh,
solutions, right?
the blue color. Sorry. So it's thinking something to do here.
Okay, you can't do that, sir. The Queensland will conflict with the Northern Territory. You cannot swap the blue and green.
Oh, yeah, green I cannot put here. Yep, seems like. So you're saying
Yeah,
this
this is
much
the same answer as what I gave.
6 and 18. 18 solution you're saying you will have.
Yes, sir.
So you make it generalized, huh? So I want to see how you're making finally generalized. You have let's say three nodes, huh? V1, V1, V2, and V3 for M colors. M colors, and obviously there will be no constraint for V1. For V2, constraints would be different. Let's say I'm saying a number 2. For V3, it's a 2. Then how many possible solution could have? Like that, you just work out with this and find out a solution for everyone. Huh? This might become in your final semester quiz. So this problem used to become. So people will think about that, huh? So number of solution is a very prominent question for your final exam. So think about that. It usually come. So here we were. Solution are complete and the constant assignments are like that. Now come to the queen. If it is not coming from graph coloring, then it will come from n queen. But there would be definitely a question from number of solution. More than one could also be there, but there used to be question like that. How many number of solution given the constants so and so forth. Even if they'll not give the a number of constants, they'll give you the situation, and from there itself you have to find out how many solution could be possible. So numbers, most of the question in NPTEL final exam will be numerical. So this is n queen problem. N queens are there on n cross n boards with no two queens on the same row and two columns and diagonal. So can you say will there be any solution for 3 cross 3 chessboard?
Like no, sir, because in three chessboard, the first and the third will always conflict. Assuming that the first and two are not conflicting.
Correct, correct. There will not be any solution. Number of solution will be zero. So S name, where do you belong from?
Sir, I'm from Bhilwara, Rajasthan, sir.
What do you do?
Sir, I'm a student, BTech, sixth semester.
Which college?
Sir, Sangam University.
Sangam University. Oh, you told me once. So you wanted
Yes,
to do some other thing, aeronautics or what? Something.
yes, sir.
No.
I wanted to yeah, research. I wanted to do PhD in some reputed university
Yeah, definitely.
in machine learning.
You have good understanding of things as well. So you will be able to just be in the flow, do some NPTEL course as you are doing, make your CB okay, do good in your BTech. Where you try to get either in top three, something like that, that matters, or make a reasonable CGPA, something like 9 or like that. Give final gate exam, get some good score, and then you will be good
Sir,
to join any.
will GATE exam help me do PhD?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gate or NET is the only way they take PhD in India. And outside also Gate used to be considered for NUS,
Like
NTU, they consider Gate
I'm
score.
actually thinking of doing outside of India actually.
So
Uh,
Gate score NUS and NTU matters. They consider
right
99 or
in
98%
US.
as something. Yeah, NUS in Singapore. It's a very famous college, National Institute of Singapore, NUS and NTU.
Okay, sir.
So they consider gate score. There are also other colleges which consider gate score. Otherwise, GRE or GMAT you have to do.
So generally, most of them ask for any research publications. I've actually looked into that.
Oh yeah,
They
sure.
generally,
So if I ask you three USP to join, so one would be your CGPA matters. To be honest, CGPA or rank holder. Second one comes is like a reputed college. Third one is your research publication. Even if it can be on the second or the third author, that's completely fine. So are you working on any research proposal or something?
sir, I'm actually in yes, sir. Sir, so the Google Summer, I'm actually working on the Google Summer Code research project.
Oh, that's very nice. So
Yeah.
what's your project there?
The project is to quantify the closed caption slash subtitles quality. I'm actually working on that.
I didn't get you.
So so transcription, when you see a movie, if you don't
Uh-huh.
understand the language,
Uh-huh.
there's any subtitles there.
True, true, true.
Like
So transcript
so,
generation is the task, right?
yeah, like to quantify the quality of subtitles and how to improve them.
Okay, 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 okay. Got it, got it. So it's a more of a given the image and audio, you are saying whatever subtitle is given, how much relevant it is.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
so?
So the original project, I was actually interested in working some reinforcement learning, but I was not able to prepare a proper project proposal by the time the deadline. So I
Oh.
actually settled for this one.
Oh yeah, this one is also very good. So it's takes and similarity is also quite good. So I also worked on some similar projects where we given the video, we are generating one line summary for the video. So it consider both text or I mean subtitle, image
E-
and audio as well. So in future, if you get stuck with any doubt or need any suggestion, you may contact me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. I'll keep you in mind whenever
Yeah,
something's
sure,
happened.
sure, sure, sure. So this is the case board problem. It's again, CSP, consent satisfaction problem. So those who have played chess, they know what is the consent. Consents are there. Two queens cannot be in same row, same column, or cannot be in a diagonal. These are the three constraints. Now we need to express this problem in mathematics and do solution for that, right? So variables are QI, where two queens are there. Domains are 1 to n, if it is n plus n chessboard. And constraints are that I and J are non-threatening to each other. Non-threatening matlab they should not cancel something like that, right? So this is how problem used to be represented. So once I told you it's not about the theory only, you should also think about the problem as a programming. So I told someone I'll give you the also assignment programming assignment just for your sake. If you want to do, you can do. Have I shared Bhaskar?
What's up?
Programming assignment just for the sake of practice. Have I shared?
No, sir. You haven't.
So I can share maybe after the call. I'll share. You ping me once. I'll share. There are 2 3 assignments from this AI thing only.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
The Professor Mosam was talking about some assignments, and I was like interested, like what is he talking about?
In
Like if we
which
can
lecture?
get that as well, it will be very helpful.
Definitely, I'll share. There are 3 4 assignments mainly on these things only. N Queen and puzzles, 8 puzzle problem, and all those things. So we have few programming assignments not related with the course. Whatever we used to do AI course here in IT Patna. So those things I can share with you all to have a practice kind of things. Right?
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. So whenever you see the problem, the second thing is how you represent the problem in coding. So this is how it has been represented. I said the constraint is that they cannot be on the same row and the same column, and this can be represented as QI and QJ cannot be in there. Means I cannot be same. It cannot be in the same row or the same column. Second one is that cannot have the same diagonal, and this can be expressed as QI minus QJ should not be equals to I minus J. For example, here two things can be there. So then you see it was 1 1 and here it is a 2 2. If you do the difference, it will be 0, and if you do here difference, it will be 0. Right? So they cannot be in a diagonal position. All diagonals, if you see, it will be x comma x only, and if you do the difference, it will be 0. So there cannot be such solution. Here, your one queen and other queen cannot be here. So this is how it has been expressed. Qi minus qj cannot be equals to I minus j. Valid values for qi and qj could be 1 comma 3, 1 4, and 2 4, and this is one solution they have given. So in order to solve this problem, first step was to represent the problem. Second thing was to represent the domain thing. Third one was to represent the constraint. And finally, you write a function in order to satisfy that domain and constraint. This is how you go from problem to solution. Is it clear? So there is already a assignment, programming assignment. I'll share with you all. If you could solve, that would be very good. So just I want to write this, in a code. How can we write? Let us try to do that. Where that text box has gone. I need to buy a tab so that I know I can write if it will be. So there were three constraints in some sense. If you say same row, G2 was same column, same column, and C3 was diagonal. So there will be a function check, function fun underscore check, which will take so a function. So there will be function check, and what you will give? You will give position of x comma y, and let's say x dash and y dash. Finally, you want to check whether these two queens are safe or not. We need to write solution for that. How will you go about that? So first, I represented what was the problem. There were three constraints. Constraint one was same row. Constraint two was same column, and diagonal should not be same. It shouldn't fall in the same diagonal. So we need to define a function def. This is the check whether x comma y is the coordinate of the first queen, and x dash and y dash is the coordinate of another queen. Whether you need to check and let us know whether it's safe or not. Who want to go and see write the code for that?
The code for column and rows are straightforward. I think the checking for diagonals is slightly tricky.
So it would be x should not be equals to x dash, right? Next, and y should not be equals to y dash. This is for row and column. Now for diagonal, we will say Bhaskar, do you want to go?
No, sir, not good at coding. I'm from mechanical actually, sir. Now want to get into AI and started
You know
studying AI.
OpenAI?
Yes, sir.
You know OpenAI?
Yes, sir, yes. I know ChatGPT and all.
OpenAI
Darling.
is the only, nowadays company who is leading AI. Is it so? And the CTO of OpenAI is mechanical
From
engineer with
mechanical,
no
yeah,
further
yeah.
degree. I
From
just
yeah,
saw
yeah.
tweet today itself,
Even
I think.
I saw that the girl getting famous from India. Then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
checked her
yeah.
profile and I saw that she is from mechanical, aeronautics and all
Yeah, yeah.
masters. Yeah. So I'm
She's
also getting in
nothing more than
developing.
BTech, and that too from mechanical. So if you have a good passion, you can go. Just I gave you example, not to reflect
Yes, sir.
upon you. Just
Definitely, sir. I just hope that I also become.
today
But
itself I saw, I guess.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely, I will. I'm trying
So
hard,
who
sir.
want to go? Who want to go next to determine the this code
I
diagonal?
think, sir, if we can write a recursive function
Hmm?
which calculates all the possible like red flag diagonals, we have to like if the x is increase slash decrease in one axis, then that should also be the number it decreases in slash increases in the other axis. That way we can find all the diagonal positions.
I didn't get you.
For example, let's say variable m, and let's get a loop on it. Like for m and each loop we increase them. Okay, sir. For okay, sir. Then
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I am getting you. Yeah, go ahead. I can write it even with the iterative function. I'll not go recursive. I can write it to
yes, sir.
iterative
No
function.
issue. It's the same thing. Okay, so if you like, do you want me to explain further?
Yeah, I want to explain. I can explain with the iterative function because that will be easy to write it here.
Okay, so you want me
Recursive.
to
No.
explain with an iterative function. So, yeah. So again, we take a variable m. It goes from 1 to what is the maximum length of the board. Um, Now we loop over this m iterator for 1, let's say we increase and decrease x-axis and increase and decrease y-axis. And whatever these nodes, whatever these values are by increasing slash decreasing, these are the nodes which should not have this queen.
Okay, so you are saying
Uh,
somewhere x
if x
plus
plus m
I,
and okay, x plus I, yes,
comma, y
plus I.
plus I should not be equals to x dash plus I, comma, y dash plus I, right?
I think so, yes, sir. And I think, sir, we also need to consider. I think we should also consider negative value for each of them as well.
Exactly.
Like x
Going
plus
forward
I.
and going backward.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Maybe we can include it in the loop itself. For example, is there any way to loop over 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2, something like that?
Uh, you're saying writing a single for loop and making that also going the backward. It means up diagonal and low diagonal, right?
Yes, sir.
So up diagonal we are going.
No, sir. Like it will require actually for loop, sir. There are four types of diagonal. This will only consider the up northeast diagonal. We also have to make one loop.
I shouldn't do x and y here. Now it is okay. And also minus one. Let me do.
Also, we'll need to make separate loop, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This will
So
work. This will work. This will work. You can put
this
an
will
and there.
work. Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so that I can do. I was thinking I'll put x plus I in one go and I'll put x dash plus I in another go in the same loop. But that is not going to work because it is still going, up
So we just have
diagonal.
to define diagonals. If we can define diagonal, I think the question is trivial.
Diagonal is where x dash is equals to y dash. This is the diagonal. I think so.
Yes, sir. But what would be a equation for an entire diagonal? That was I'm asking. Like
X
so.
and y point anything,
Sir,
plus one.
this will only cover the northeast diagonal, sir.
Oh, okay. I was doing something wrong here. It will be like that. Y not equals to x dash.
So it's the same thing, exactly the same. Okay. Yeah,
No.
this is right, sir. And we have to make another if condition.
Yeah, that I can do, but I was thinking to make it in a single loop. If
I don't. I'm not sure about single loop. I think the we'll need to check for if condition x plus I y minus I x minus I y plus I x minus I plus I y plus I. Uh,
Mhm,
this will consider all the four diagonals: northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, and that way we can like do.
yeah, correct, correct. So those who are seeing, if you see what we're doing for row and column, it was very trivial that it shouldn't match x and y coordinate. We did it with that, right? Now the thing was about the diagonal one. Diagonal should not also come in the same place. So let's say this is your queen. Where you will not put another queen at this place, and this place. How will you define that? It is nothing but plus one in the both coordinate, right? It was 1 1, here it's a 2 2, here it's a 3 3 or something like that. So this is how you define. Let's assume your queen is here, and now where you can put another queen. You cannot put queen here, and you cannot put queen here. Am I right?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, yes.
Is my cursor is also visible now?
Yes, your cursor is visible, sir.
Yeah. So we cannot put queen here and we cannot put queen here. So given, let's say this is the x and y, how will you know this is what is this? It is nothing but x minus 1 minus y minus 1, and this is x plus 1 comma y plus 1. So this is done by that. What will do for that here? What it is? It is again coming the diagonal. So it is x minus 1. What is this? Let's say x comma y is this. So what will be the coordinate of this one? That is x minus 1, y minus 1. No.
Sir, like if we are assuming that the downward direction is
Mm-hmm.
positive, then the y will be my negative, y minus 1. And if you're assuming that the rightward direction is positive, then it will be x plus 1, y minus 1.
Correct, correct, correct. So as a human, you can think these are the position for, let's say this is the queen and other queen cannot be put it where this two position and these two position. You need to write script for that one only. So how do you write a script for this one? If it is x comma y, you cannot go with plus one in the both coordinate. You cannot go even minus one in the both condition. This is okay, right? This is clear to everybody, right? This is one diagram. This is another diagram. How will you go about that? So this is x comma y. What you have done, you have changed your x coordinate. Have you changed it? This is x comma y, and you it's like moving here and then moving here, or it's like moving here and moving here. These are the two steps you have taken. So x minus 1, right, and y plus 1. This is how you write. So another solution could be x minus of I comma y shouldn't equals to x dash comma y. That's something like that. I am not pretty clear to take that concept, but just I'm writing, to make you clear. This is how it goes. So how you tackle a problem? You just write it its constraint. You take the easy one, solve it for that. You take the other other condition. Don't go directly on mathematics. See the image. Try to find out solution as a human, and then finally write the code for that. Write a script for that. So this is how you tackle a problem. So when I'll give you the programming assignment code, you need to write it there. So Bhaskar, did you get it? How we try to solve it? Hello. Am
Sir,
I
you're
audible?
audible. Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
you're
Yes, sir.
audible.
Okay. So this is how you need to go for programming. Those who means those that not that much exposure to programming, you need to go step by step. And programming you need to do. There is no other solution to go. So this is one. These are the questions you will be given. How many solutions will have? What are the constraints? I remember the previous NPTEL exam. Directly it was written. Uh, what? How you can explain the constraint for diagonal one for the chase problem, and four options were there. You need to just select which one, and there would be more than one option possible. So this is how a final exam would be. This is one crypto arithmetic one problem is there. You also might have got one or two problem from there in assignments. This is how it is like
Sir, it
variables
was
are.
in previous assignment. I don't think it is in current assignment.
Uh, oh, is it so?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sure.
so this might be. So in maybe in final exam you might get like this. So this is a classical problem for CSV. That's what I'm showing. Those things, graph coloring, NQueen, and all those things. Crypto arithmetic. So this is one. It's like a variable T2 and 4 is given. This is the variables, and finally domains are 0 to 1. You need to assign numbers so that 2 plus 2 become 4, and these are the constants. Constants are that if you add them, as in mathematics, when you will add, you give one carry, to the other one. At 8:45, someone is trying to in. So these are the constraints and you need to finally express it. O plus O should be same for W plus W
So,
also.
excuse me,
That
sir. Can you
R,
hear me?
whatever we have, R
Sir, I will
plus 10
try to
into
connect
X1.
again after
Right. So
15.
finally it is going as a carry and it will be 10 times more than that. W plus W is like that. So
You are not
W plus
audible,
W plus
listening.
X1 equals to U plus 10 into X2. Finally,
Jyoti,
whatever
can you
X2 is
confirm
going
am I clearly audible?
and T plus T, it should be the plus X2, whatever you're getting from here, it is same as O along with that 4 also,
Okay.
this F.
Arpan,
So,
your voice is also breaking. So,
if let's say I'm at
or
O,
Jyoti, can you
how
please
much
unmute
stronger
yourself and
F
say
is
whether
with me?
clearly
It's like because it is on the next place, so it must be 10 times more than me, right? So that's why
because
it's a
listening
10
is
times
not
more.
audible.
So O is, if I have to, I am at this place and I need to equate with the other place, it's like
But
my
then can you
position
please
equals to whatever it is position
unmute
into 10
yourself?
times. So
Sir,
this is how it has been.
Yeah,
So these
Arpan.
are the constraints and finally you assign the numbers which you satisfy. So you need
Arpan,
to
say
find out the
yes, sir.
more, 1, 2, 3, 4,
You are
5,
also audible,
6.
sir.
6
I am
variable, you need
clearly
to
audible.
assign 10 numbers. What would be that?
Yes, sir. You are clearly audible.
This is also
Is
we
my
gave a
screen
programming
visible?
assignment on that, and people have done so that
Yes,
I
sir.
think it is for
Visible.
some real
So
world
I'm
CSPs
starting the
are
session.
assignment
Can I just
problems. Who
rejoin?
teaches what class?
Get them in.
These problem might seem very trivial to you
So
people,
this
but
is
this
week
is one of the
8,
hardest problem I have
uncertainty in
tackled.
AI
In
and
my
Bayesian
BTech,
network. Correct.
there was a
So this
project
week you must have
to
read
make a
about
timetable.
uncertainty
So
in AI and
it's a
Bayesian
very
network.
difficult problem to
Last
solve,
week we had
even with the
discussed about
coding
advancing
things. It's
professional
not easy
balancing.
problem. There
Now
were
there
so many
we
constraints that
discussed few
this
problems,
faculty is
how to
comfortable in these hours.
solve them
He cannot take 2
from
consecutive
theoretical
classes.
to
He cannot
implementation background, how we to go ahead
work
with the
out with these
problem
2
by
classes and
understanding
so
them,
many constraints. It's a very hard
denoting
problem
them
to
in
solve.
terms of variable and
Have
then
anyone made
processing
any
over the
project on
information
I
with
actually
time
like
to
researched on
get
it.
the
I didn't even
desired
made it. I think
objective
there are
what
already
has been
pretty
mentioned in
like
the
many
question.
projects like with
Right.
various
So
algorithms
this thing we
to
have
already
The
solve
Abhisek
it.
is very one
now
of the
we'll
famous
now
one.
deal with the
Yeah. So
uncertainty in AI and
like
Bayesian
you
network
there's really no reason
from
to
this week.
make one from
So
scratch.
Correct.
if I say uncertainty,
But when you were in third year and second
everything
year,
is
people used to
uncertain.
give you as a free
Now
money.
I am talking
I
with
also
you
used to encourage the students
after 5
not go
minutes
with
whether
the
I'll be able to talk
so
with
much
you or
literature
not.
first. First
This
thing
is not
as
sure.
own
Maybe
and
my
go in that.
internet
Otherwise,
got
you'll not get
disconnected.
something
Maybe
new. You will stuck with
something
the
happened
previous
with the
mechanism.
electricity or something
So
like
whenever you
so and
solve
so forth.
problems,
There
try
is
to
a chance
first
that
try to
I
do
may
it
not
by yourself,
continue
and then you go and see
you know
what's going on.
this talk. So there is always a possibility
Transportation scheduling is another way. Factory scheduling is another way.
that
So
there is this possibility of both to
so there are
continue the
varieties
session
of
or
constraint.
maybe I'll
Unary,
halt the
it's
session
like you can assign
because
one
of
thing
some
to the binary more
unforeseen
than one, higher
situation. There
order
could be a
frequencies.
possibility.
So he just
Right.
described what are the other
So
things.
as Professor
These are
mentioned,
few examples and then few
Professor has
previous
mentioned in the
quiz
session,
question I
everything in
practice.
in real
I think it will
world
be
is also uncertain.
So
We
this is
don't
the
know
same problem what we
what will
discussed,
happen.
WANP,
We
and
have
how we
some
are going,
belief
if
and
you
we
see
can say
the
this may
breadth and
occur.
depth first.
You cannot
See.
guarantee that
So here
this
we
is
are,
going
and
to
how many
occur.
possible
So
solutions
you,
we can
you have some
Three things were
confidence,
there.
you
We
have
can
some
expand it like that.
probability to say, yeah,
green and
this
blue.
might happen. To,
If you're going
so,
depth wise, take the first
for
one and go
example,
more depth.
just recently I curve.
You can
So,
assign other
what
two
does
color.
that mean?
Possible
Does
color
it
would be
means
green
that
and blue here.
someone has throat
Now you
cancer?
expand it again to the first one only. And then
Chances
you
if
say
I
like
ask
that,
someone
red,
if
green
someone
and
has cold and
red
cough,
finally.
does that indicate
Here it's a red,
he or she has
and
throat cancer?
green and blue. Again, I'll expand this one because I'm going depth
No,
first.
it seems like
see
you
whether
say
some
no, it
solution
may not.
occurs or not. And
Most
finally,
likely
there would
it
be
may
some
be a
solution. If
simple
it
cold
doesn't,
and
you
cough,
go
something like
go to the
that.
previous
Maybe
solution
seasonal,
and go
maybe,
to the other one. It's like kind
viral
of
thing had happened.
seeing the
something like
backtracking
that.
thing where it goes.
But there is a
Let's say
chance also
I
that he
came
or she
here and didn't
has
find a solution.
throat
What I'll do,
cancer. This is
I'll go
also
backtrack and see the
possible
other
thing,
branch.
but
and
we are more
go there.
likely to say no. He or she may not have
And this is one example
throat
very
cancer
simple.
because the
How it
likelihood of
started
throat
x1 plus
cancer
x2 is
is
10 and x1 minus x2 is 4. What will be the x1?
significantly
So it's
less than,
again equation
the
solving is a
viral fever or
linear
something like that.
separable problem. It's a constraint solving thing.
So,
what will be x1?
just one announcement here in
Oh, sorry.
IIT Patna, internet connection is very weak. So,
It would be seven.
I may
No, it
get
would be
lost
two.
in between. So, and that's why I'm used to
Three.
confirm whether I'm clearly audible or not.
Just
So
I
that to
remember
make
what
sure
we used
that
to do
we are on
earlier.
the same page.
Doing plus
So
and minus.
please,
find the
someone
solution.
maybe
It's like
be
E1
volunteer
minus
the
E2
session
I did and then
whenever I'll
E1 plus
ask.
E2.
Please
That's
respond because if you not respond, I'll not get the.
I
would have to
are
go
able
back
to
and
recall
go
what I
through.
was saying.
Like that, it will get interrupted.
Like
So,
we were explaining, like
am
I don't
I
understand
audible?
what method
Someone-
are you
someone
actually
can
trying
please
to
confirm.
convey?
There are two equations, E1 and E2. In first step, I did E1
Yes,
plus
sir.
E2.
You are audible.
Oh
Next
yes,
step I
yes,
got-
yes. The
So, did you get the
solving
idea
by
what I was
elimination.
saying about the
Yes.
cold and cough? It may not
Yeah.
indicate
Like I
throat
remember
cancer,
three
maybe
different types
viral
of
fever,
solutions
right?
where the problem by
For
cross
example,
multiplication,
what
solving
is
by
the
substitution, and
probability
solving by
of
elimination.
being earthquake in India
solving by substitution
just after an hour?
means x1 and pi
If I say
find out
there
from
is
this
a
chance
chance
that
that
4
there
plus
is
x1
an
putting
earthquake,
Yeah, we will just
most of
find
us
the
say
value
no,
of
no, there is no
x1 in this
chance,
equation,
there
that
is
is
no
x1 is
chance.
equals to 10 minus x2.
There is a chance.
We are going to
This
put
becomes
this in
the
the
substitution, right?
yeah, we are going to
Elimination
substitute it
plus
in
and minus.
and
What was
that's a
the other?
negligible kind of thing.
the
So that's
cross
why you're saying,
multiplication where there was
there is
1
no
upon
chance of
x1
earthquake, something like that.
cross multiply
So
x,
everything
variables
in
of
real
x
life also is a,
cross
like a
multiplied by x2.
probabilistic.
This was actually is like we
Everything is
once you like
uncertain.
solve a
Now you need to
general
model
linear
will get
equation, you get a
with the
complicated
with
algorithm.
an extra
And
tool
you just
called,
apply,
you know,
substitute the
it
answers,
is known
variables in those
as
algorithms, and you will
probability.
automatically get the
So
answer.
you give the some
So,
probabilistic
so,
view
so you don't
that
even have to like
this
do this.
event may
There's already
occur, may
algorithm
not occur,
exist.
something like that.
You just
So
substitute it in
this
the
is how the things
variables.
becoming
Yeah, yeah, I
going
could
to
recall.
change in your
I have
future
done it in
lectures.
sixth or
Till
seventh
now
class, something
you
like
have
that. Right?
I remember it in 10th.
read something like a factual thing. If this happened, that
I
Oh,
happens
think it
like
six,
was.
that.
seven, maybe then
So it's more of a
elimination
logic
substitution. I definitely
and
remember.
things.
I did it
A
there.
then B,
I
something like
think
that.
some
Now
like
it's
six. Okay,
time
like
to
it doesn't even
go in
matter.
depth and
Different
understand what
syllabus.
does that mean. Now we are going to deal with the
So
probabilistic
these are
view.
few previous year questions that I might can discuss few with you. So when you have to solve, constraint problem, as professor and you people have understood, you first pick up on a
Yeah.
variable which
So
have lot of constraint, right? So that's what here it is, like choose the variable with the most
so
constraint
with
on
this
the remaining
motivation, I
variable. This is
expressed
one
why
thing
probabilistic
to
view is
avoid. So
very
choose the
important, because
choose the
ultimately in
variable with the
AI also
fewest
you need to
legal
model
values remaining.
real world problem,
So
real world
those who
situation,
will have
right?
only few
So
domain
why
value
not to
possible to choose that
just
those
see how things are
variable first.
happening
So
and
these are way to
model them
move ahead
accordingly.
and make the
So
CSP
everyone,
consent
if you get any
satisfaction.
doubt, question, suggestion in between, please feel
Select the
free
correct
to
option regarding the forward
interrupt me.
consistency check.
So it's
The search
completely
is
okay
terminated when
to
a variable has no remaining legal
interrupt
value,
me,
obviously.
and
Forward
I can
checking
have
can
the
detect
discussion
all
about the
failures early.
things
No,
whatever
it
you
cannot
want.
detect. You need to go and to the dead node and come back. Information is the propagated from assigned to unassigned variable. That's a very depth and meaning. If you see, if you
So
assign, you will
in
have the
last
idea
few
about the
lectures, you
unassigned
understood
variable, what you
about
could,
what is knowledge
put
and
it
how
there.
it is
That's true.
being
Information is
represented
propagated
and
between
how
two
it can be
unassigned. No,
used to
nothing
answer
special.
few things, right? Those
If
things
anyone
we
have
delve
doubt,
into.
please feel free to.
So there are
Which of the following
three
options are
main
not
ways to
correct?
represent knowledge. One is the KR
The best
knowledge
time complexity
representation
possible
language,
with R
ontological means
consistency for
kind of a
CSP is
graphical
this is
thing,
the factual question
structural thing,
posed
and
by
the
N square intuitive.
epistemological commitment, like a
There
Boolean
exists a
thing, true,
deterministic
false, and
algorithm
unknown,
which can
something
detect
like
all
that.
failures in
So
the
in KR
polynomial
language,
time. Yeah.
you
So
read about the
if you have to,
proposition logic, first
there
order
exists a
logic, and vector
deterministic
logic.
algorithm means which will terminate, right? Can detect all failures in polynomial
Sir, we
time.
can discuss the
So
last week assignment.
in some sense, it is saying it can
Last
find
week
out the
assignment
solution
I
in
already
polynomial
discussed S-name. You
because
didn't
it is
join the
deterministic
session.
and it can find the all failures. Then
So
obviously,
I mean,
what
I
remaining
don't like.
is the
I mean,
sufficient
this week's
solution.
assignment. I mean, how do
see,
I
the
say?
question is asking what
What
is
was the
not
last
correct.
assignment which we got result on Wednesday?
Which
That
of the
assignment.
followings are not
Oh,
correct?
I
Then the
usually
best
don't do
time
like that.
complexity with
I
R.
used to
This is the
discuss
factual
this
question.
last week.
I don't
I
remember the
have
numbers. And the
discussed
best
about these
deterministic
things,
algorithm which can
provision
detect all
logic and
failures
satisfiability.
in
So
polynomial
this
time.
week
So
I'll discuss about the uncertainty
polynomial
and
time
Bayesian network.
is the key here.
Some
No,
question
sir,
That needs to.
assignment. Sir,
So
assignment,
it
which was
can
Sir,
be.
answered on
sir, of
Wednesday.
course, it's not possible. Like because
yeah, I
in
was
AI we
talking about these are
always
the
discuss
assignment
NP hard
question, right?
problems, right?
Mhm.
And the solving, if we find all
These were the previous
if we
assignments
can find all
questions.
variables in polynomial time, then we will be able to solve all constraint satisfaction problem. That is all of AI problems. That's of
Okay.
course absurd, right?
So you're saying there
Okay,
is
so
an
like,
NP
but the
hard
session
problem which
starts at
cannot be
7,
done
right?
Yeah,
deterministically.
sir.
That's
Of
why
course,
it's
sir.
Yep.
yeah.
Constraint satisfaction, of course,
Then how
is
did you
very
discuss
difficult
all
problem.
these
That's why we are
assignments within
studying
15
in
minutes?
AI.
No,
Then
this has been discussed in last week.
Yeah,
This
so it
session,
can solve in polynomial time.
the
It
current
goes
session is
up on
focusing on this one,
exponential, even that
in
cannot
uncertainty
terminate,
in
right?
Bayesian
yes,
So
network.
sir.
that's why
So this is your
this
current
week
week.
comes.
So what usually I do, I discuss about the few
Detecting all
important
failures
concepts
That
about
is
this
an
week
NP
and few
hard problem.
problems.
the opposite of second
Solve
week.
workout sessions. So this is what I used to do.
Yeah, detecting all failures is an
I
NP
think, sir,
hard
you
problem. It
didn't discuss
depends on the
this one
problem
particular
itself,
question,
right?
which was about
No, but I think
the
the problem in this case
epistemology
is any
and
general constraint
the
satisfaction
ontology
problem.
of
Yeah,
propositional
that's what I'm saying.
Bayesian
So if you
propositional
take
logic
a
and logic
problem, for example,
first order
Turing test,
logic,
whether it will
in
be
which the
determined or
answer
not.
that
So
was
it
given to
depends
us
on
by
what
NPTEL
constraint
team is
satisfaction
that
problem you have taken.
they are similar in one
Yeah,
All
case
the
and they are
problem
different
is
in
not
one
a
case. But
specific.
in the first lecture of
If a
our
variable x loses some
Professor Mausam,
value, we need
he
to
said
recheck
that
its
both
neighbor for R
propositional
consistency.
Bayesian propositional
What
logic
is
and
R
first order
consistent? I
logic are
didn't know.
different in both epistemology
Is
and
it talking about
entomology.
some particular algorithm?
No, sir, it is
So
discussed
you
in
are
So
the
can you
saying
like
lecture 6,
which week are you
where,
What
talking
is that?
about? So
sir, essentially,
actually, that's not clear
whenever
to me. And
we actually
so
check
you are
all the
saying what
possible
Professor Mawson said and
values of
whatever
the answer is
of
given
one
if these
variable
two things
given that
become
we have found the
contradictory,
values of another
something
variable.
like that.
Yes, sir. I'm
So
saying that.
essentially we create an arc
So it is
and
about week 7,
connect
right?
two
No, I'm
two
not getting
variables.
it.
Can you
Yes,
explain
it's
me
about week
something?
7.
Or maybe I
Uh,
can try to.
even I have some
It's
difficulty
about
understanding week
Okay,
6.
okay. Aditya, can you explain? Have you
Which
watched
week?
this video?
Can you
Art
precisely tell?
consistency.
okay. This is
Because
week 7,
currently
question
I'm
number
not.
This is
9.
I don't know.
Okay,
I
week
can
7,
explain it
question
maybe
number
next
9.
week
Question
meeting
number 9.
because
Okay,
I don't
okay.
have time.
So I'm not current
So we
directly
are
going
good
to
here.
that
So
question.
if
First,
anyone
I'll
have any
discuss
question,
whatever
suggestion,
I
doubt,
have
please put it
prepared for
in
this
the
session
section.
about, and then if time passes, I'll discuss about that. Otherwise, you can always
Sir, my
message me, email
assignment
me. I'll
scores are
give you
very
the
low.
answer why it is happening like that. So
Okay, sir.
Up to 40, 50, and I have completed only 3. So now
So
if
I
I
was
go
talking about the
ahead
knowledge
and
representation.
update my
Finally,
scores, so
this
can
week we are
visible
going to
for
define
example. Yeah,
why
we can
probabilistic
basically
view
have a
was
look at
required.
the scores.
I told you because
Is
in
there any
everything
constraint with the
there
assignment
is
score
an
and final
Yes,
uncertainty.
sir.
examination
You
So
score?
need at
that
least
needs to be
40%, I
modeled
think.
and
40 or
processed
30%, I
accordingly
forgot.
to
But there is
have
a constraint
clear
on
view, to
assignment,
have
overall assignment score. But
how
only best
information
data,
has been
best data
represented, information used to be represented and
taken for
processed.
this.
So how many times you
So
can
need
take
for
that
reasoning
assignment?
and
2, 3 times.
uncertainty wise.
You
So
can take
as
infinite
Professor
times,
Mausam pointed out, the
just
word is called an
before the deadline.
uncertainty. It's totally,
Oh,
I,
then
I
it's not
cannot
a big
be.
problem.
I
Nityanand, you
totally agree
can
with it
prepare
and
and
say, yeah,
give the assignment
this
again,
is
right?
true.
Actually, I'm a
So
BTech from first
we
year
need to
student, and
have
it is my
probabilistic
first
view
time
about
on
the things how
NPTEL.
happens.
That
For
is,
example, as I give you an
that's why I
example,
have
so
many doubts
there
about
might be an
NPTEL
earthquake
exams.
in next 15 days.
So
So most
whatever
likely
score you
it's
have given,
there
you
is
can
no
change
such
it, you can
chance.
update it, you
But
read the
there
tutorial
may be some
again
such
and do
event may
the give
No,
the
no, no,
exam.
you
happen and
can't
it
do
may
that,
lead to
sir.
an
The
earthquake,
deadline's
right?
gone.
So
He can do that
how
for
can we
other courses and like
if
update
I
it that way because only
model
best
those
data taken.
things and then
So if you
process
get
it
good
according to
scores in
that, we
all
are
the
going
other
to discuss
exams,
about this session.
the
So
lowest exams will not be counted.
So
probability,
if he has enrolled
as
in
all
2
of you know,
courses,
I'll
then you're
not go
saying in
much in
any one of the
detail, but
courses it should be more than
uh,
30%,
I'll
right?
where formulation is
Two
required,
courses,
where
all courses are
things
independent.
those
So you are
concepts are
saying all
required for
if
solving
assignment deadline is let's
problems.
say
I'll discuss them
7th
thoroughly
March.
so that
So
you
till
can
7th
answer
March I
those
can
No,
give
sir.
n
questions.
numbers.
Different
Right.
assignment weeks, different week assignment have different
Probability,
deadlines.
you know, all of you, that the chances
No,
of
I am getting
occurrence are
and my
different.
question is
So
that
I used to give this
whether
example
he can give
most of my
past
probability lectures.
assignment
So
exam again
will
or
it
not.
rain today? Should I go with umbrella
No,
or
no,
not?
sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
So
possible. Yeah,
you
he
may
can give
say
it
no, you
infinite
may say
times.
yes. So
No, no,
depending
no.
No,
on
no,
Bhaskar
these
is
two
past
saying
three
assignment
factors, you
not
say
possible,
you
sir.
should go
Just
with umbrella
six
or not.
weeks assignment is now
Until
open.
unless you are
Just that
Bengali,
one he
Bengali
can
person
give,
used
and
to
the
have
further
umbrella
coming
always
weeks
with
one,
itself.
not the
okay,
fifth
so
week and
Again, this is
previous
a
one. Those
nonsense.
true, true.
deadlines and answers already
So
released. Deadline already passed,
there are a few factors,
so
for
that's
example,
not possible.
humidity and
It's
temperature.
So
very
I
much
would say
possible that Nityanand
based on
can
these things, most
still
likely
work
rain
hard
will not
and
occur. But
score
you are
good
not
marks
quite
because
certain.
still
You may
six
say, okay,
assignments are
with the
already remaining, and
0.99
in if you will take
probability,
average of
the
six
rain will not
assignment, if
happen. Please
even if you
don't
will
carry
get
umbrella.
70 to 80% around in
So
six
based
assignments,
on that
he
temperature and
will be confidently
humidity,
above the
you
eligibility
think
criteria because
about
he
what has
already has
happened
40
in
to 50
past.
in previous
With this
assignments,
temperature and
and
humidity,
eligibility is
has
only
ever
40%.
rained or not?
Oh
Something
yeah.
like that.
So it's become again a constant satisfaction problem. 40 into 6
So
plus
randomness is the
6 into
fundamental to the
x
universe,
by
and you need to
12 should
model
be
them.
greater than
So
40. Right. Or
Yes, sir,
30,
tossing a
whatever
definitely.
you want.
coin,
So Nityan, you
whether
can do
it's
it's not a big problem. And
probabilistic or
also
deterministic,
loophole he
who
said
will
that you
say?
can give n number of times
Someone can
exam to
say
improve
whether
your
it's a
score, whatever
probabilistic or
remaining you
deterministic.
have.
You must have heard in
So
this
there you please read thoroughly and
Professor
give this
Mawsam lectures.
details.
Isn't it
Anybody else can have any question
probabilistic or
suggestion?
not deterministic?
Sir,
I'm
can we
Toss a
sorry
get
coin,
for
will it be
previous
there or
meeting I
tail?
was
Can
not
you say
regular. I was not able to prepare because I had few
with
deadlines. I was engaging so much.
certainty?
From now onwards, I'll be very much dedicated to the course. I'll prepare accordingly and share the things with you.
Yeah, no issue, sir. Sir, I was wondering,
Please say
can
something.
you give us previous year's assignments? Like, no, not now, last year. We already got the last year's
Which
assignment, but
probabilistic, sir?
last to last
Like,
year
It's
and so on.
probabilistic.
definitely, I'll try to do that.
Okay.
So I might forget faster. You message me whatever.
Yeah, we
you
model
can
it
say.
as a
Or even
probabilistic, but
name you can message me on LinkedIn.
the
Then
way
I
the
can
So,
coin is
answer.
tossed, the
Swarnim,
angle,
are
the
you asking
jitter,
about
the
assignment
thrust you
solutions
provide,
or what?
the
Because we
height.
already have.
If everything you
Assignment
model it,
solutions, of
it's
Yeah,
most
yeah,
course,
likely it's a
definitely.
of previous to
deterministic.
previous to
If you
Yes, yes.
Because
control every
assignment
Like,
questions we
physics and
already have from 2020 to
controllable. Every
2022.
factor,
yeah, the
temperature,
solutions as
wind
well.
So
force,
21
and
and
everything,
solution
it's
you are
more
asking, right?
likely it's a deterministic.
Yes, sir, exactly.
With all these
Yes, sir.
factor, if
Yes.
you coin it, most likely it
Fine.
will come out the
I'll
same.
try to get differential.
So that this is one of a view how
Okay,
you see
so
the
that's
things.
all
Probability
from this week.
is a mathematical
We
framework
can
for
okay to go.
identifying uncertainty and
Alright.
then model the
Connect.
world accordingly. So it's a number of favorable outcomes to the number of
Okay, bye
So this
everyone. So
slide
I
says
need to do
everything
maybe
about
some
how
backup
machine
thing for
learning,
this
how
recording thing. So
classical machine
others
learning
can
to deep
leave,
learning
and
has
if
went
Esnim or
through.
Bhaskar
Initially,
can
we
please stay
started with the
there
table
and talk
lookup.
something,
Then we went to the
bookkeeping
Yes, sir.
related
I'm
to
asking
this.
about
table
2020
lookup is
first assignment.
you have table.
2020.
So when I say
2020
what will
assignment.
happen,
Okay,
I'll
sir.
tell you.
Okay,
One
sir.
second.
Thank you, sir.
Others can sign up. Maybe Bhaskar and Swarnim can be there. I need to do some thing note about that course, how it is going, how everyone's doing. Anyone needs some help or something like that.
Excuse me,